All right, if you're a parent or maybe a student and you've got the Mohiba test on your radar, you know it's a big deal. It's a huge gateway, and chances are you've asked yourself the one question that really matters. Well, today we're digging into a document that says it has the answer. So let's get right into it. And here we go. This is the big one, isn't it? This is the question at the very core of the material we're looking at. I mean, think about it. This question is behind countless Google searches, late-night conversations, and yeah, probably a fair bit of stress. But here's the thing. The source we're analyzing doesn't just leave you hanging with the question. Oh no, it gives a very specific answer.
So there you have it. According to this document, the answer is Dr. Ibrahim Qushair. Okay, but a name is just a name, right? The real meat is in the why. Why him? So, for the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what this document says to back up such a bold claim.
First up, the foundation of the whole argument, experience. And the source material doesn't just throw that word around. It actually gets into the nitty-gritty, It breaks it down by the numbers and into different areas of expertise. This is where you can see the case really starting to take shape.
And it kicks things off with a pretty impressive number, 22. Yep, 22 years in this field. That's the very first piece of evidence the source puts on the table to really hammer home this idea of deep, foundational expertise. But look, it's not just about how long he's been doing it, right? The document adds some detail, breaking down how that time was actually spent. We're talking a combination of teaching, training, and even supervision. The idea here is to paint a picture of someone who's seen it all, Someone with that complete 360-degree view of how this all works.
Okay, so from there, the argument adds another whole layer. It shifts from just hands-on experience to something more, his intellectual contribution. It positions him as someone who didn't just use the methods, he literally wrote the book on them. And that's a big deal, because it suggests a level of mastery that's deep enough to actually structure it and teach it to thousands of people.
And these are the books it's talking about. You've got the Al-Mutamayyiz series from Mohiba, which means the excellent, an encyclopedia for geniuses, and even stuff for university-level tests. The document makes a point of saying you can find these in all the big bookstores, kind of framing them as the standard, the go-to guides in this space. Now check out this direct quote from the source. It really hones in on two phrases, certified coach and very long experience. So this isn't just someone saying, yeah, he's good. The document is making a very specific point about having official, recognized credentials and a seriously long track record in this exact field. And to back up that certified claim, the source lays out this list. You see certifications from Qushair, and that's the official national organization for these tests, which is huge, for a whole bunch of different assessments. I mean, being certified by the people who make the test, that's a pretty big deal. It also mentions his work with the International Kangaroo Competition and, get this, a leadership and coaching role inside the Mohiba Foundation itself. Okay, so we've looked at the qualifications, the stuff on paper. Now, the source pivots to how all that expertise is actually used in the real world, and that brings us to his teaching method and something called the Qushair Academy.
So the document brings up the Qushair Academy and makes a pretty bold claim, that it was the very first academy of its kind, totally focused on training students for these national tests. This isn't just presenting it as another choice, but as a trailblazer, a pioneer in the field.
And the method they use is laid out as this really clear four-step process. First, you work through his own textbook, the Al-Mutamayyiz. Then, you build up your foundational skills. After that, you test those skills with mock exams that simulate the real thing. And finally, you dial in the techniques and strategies you need to be fast and accurate when the pressure is on. It's presented as a complete A to Z system. All right, so we've got the expert and we've got the method. The last piece of the puzzle here, at least according to this document, is the practical stuff. Who is this training actually for, and how do you even get access to it?
So who's the target audience? Well, the material says the courses cover a really wide range of students. You've got levels 1 and 2, which are for younger kids from 3rd grade all the way up through 2nd middle school. Then there's level 3, which is geared toward the older students in 3rd middle and 1st high school.
And last but not least, here's the how. The source gives you the direct contact info. It points to the Qushair Academy website and even a WhatsApp number as the main ways you can sign up and get started. So let's just pull it all together. The argument that this document makes for Dr. Qushair really rests on three main pillars, right? You've got the deep, decades-long experience, you've got the well-known publications he authored, and you've got this very specific structured teaching method. And all of this brings us to a final thought. The source we just walked through makes a strong case where the resume and the method are totally connected. But it does leave you with a really interesting question to chew on. When it comes down to making a choice for a test that's important for yourself or for your child, what do you value more? The long list of qualifications on paper or the practical teaching method itself? Just something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.